here. What do you say? Yeah. So today we are bringing in Tabora Johnson, who plays Auntie McCaster. Brett Stinson, who plays Major Bedhead. And our Lynette the Clown, Allison Cord. Are you ready to clown around? I had to, I'm sorry.
And ever since I met you, you've been clowning around.
It's part of my DNA.
I don't know if you guys understand who our moderator is, but she is also kind of animation and television royalty. So, Strawberry Shortcake. Yeah, Piper from Mr. Cons, Izzy from My Little Pony. Tell me the new stuff that you're allowed to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, those are the big ones, and then I play Annika in The Boys. If anyone watches The Boys?
Yeah. I was not ready for that episode, and you didn't warn me, and I'm really mad
I
at you.
am very sorry. I was devastated. Okay. All right, but welcome. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you guys are here. All right, so let's get right into the questions. We want to kind of hear. I would love to know what the audition process was like for Big Comfy Couch and how you came about getting on the show.
You really want to know?
I want
Real, like really?
to know. 100%.
Okay, I don't know if I should go first. It could like blow everything. Not that I did. Yeah, no, I was living in Crystal Beach. I had just had a child. I was contemplating my thighs and wondering if they'd ever get back to a size that I could deal with. And I drove into Toronto and I went to my favorite restaurant cum bar / nightclub, the Bamboo. And it was in the afternoon, so I was having an alcoholic beverage and learning how to be a grown-up again without a toddler. And down at the end of the hall were what's her face and what's his face?
Cheryl and Rob?
Yeah.
Those what's her faces?
Cheryl and Rob. And they sort of sent me down some sparkling water, and the barkeep said, that's from those people up there who I didn't know. And they said, you know, we've been looking to cast, this is not a lead character, it's kind of, you know, someone who pops in and out, kind of like you do, Tabby. And I went, oh, what do you mean? They go, well, you know, you always are popping in and then popping out for an extended period of time.
Wow.
And so there's this character, and her name is Auntie McCaster. Do you want the role? I went, yeah, sure, okay. And that was it.
Every actor's dream.
It's only going to get worse in that regard. So.
Well, I was actually really good friends with Rob Mills and Cheryl Wagner, and they kind of wrote the role around me because I could ride a unicycle and I was a juggler and circus performer. So they brought me in and they said, well, it's not really an audition, we just want to see the chemistry between you and Allison Cord, who I also knew from Mr. Dressup. So I said, what would you like us to do? And Allison and I are looking at each other. And they said, what? And they said, whatever you feel like doing. And we ended up wrestling. And I think she and then that was it. And we said, well, we guys get along really well. And we went, oh, great. So that was pretty much it.
Okay, I love that story. That's wild.
And nepotism.
Yeah, I was gonna say nepotism.
I went to school. I was very good friends with Cheryl's daughter, Harmony. So I've known her since I was 8 years old. And we worked together on Mr. Dressup. So one just kind of flowed into the other. And
I mean, let's be real. Wouldn't you rather work with the devil you know?
Yes.
mostly.
Mostly. Like, then you don't have to go through all of those uncomfortable conversations because you've already had them.
That's
in
true.
Another show.
Actually, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Okay.
Take that home with you, write it in your diaries. Better to work with the devil you know.
Also, it's good to collect people over the years. Like when you, in personal life and professional life, when you meet people and your spidey senses are just like, yeah, that's a gem, file it in the back of your brain, and remember it so that when you're in a position of power or authority, or just to make a choice in your life, you bring those people on board. You will be happy with what you have chosen.
Those are honestly huge words of wisdom, because like, Allison and I go back a long time, but like she is like my guiding light for a lot of things, and anyway. Okay, next one. How did you guys get in character for your roles, and do you have a favorite episode that you can recall, or a favorite moment?
Well, I'll go first, and hopefully keep it brief. I got into bedhead character, and this sounds like a line, but it's the truth. I'm getting emotional. Listen's used to this. Bedhead is me. This is a facade. Bedhead's very freeing, and I can just be myself. And my favorite, I get asked that a lot, what's your favorite? And my memory is really awful. So generally what I do is I ask someone, well, what was your favorite? And I go, hey, what a coincidence, that's mine too. But if I did have to choose, I would probably say it was Mud Luscious. And that was the one where I'm making mud pies, and I get just covered in mud. My wife, Jane Edmondson, was the costumer on the big comfy couch. I got her the job, talking about nepotism. And we weren't married at that point, but it was great because I had to get covered in mud and splash around, and it was all one take because we didn't have another costume. So I did an entire song, singing, lip-syncing to that song, and they just said, go. And at the end, I got a standing ovation from the crew, which is nice.
I love that.
That was actually one of my favorites too, because I'm in the scene with you, but I'm just watching you.
I think what you liked most was the liar, liar dance.
I like the recuts on YouTube, okay? Do you have a favorite one, Tabby?
Well, my character was interesting because I did a lot of things in front of, what is it called, chroma something or other?
Yeah, blue screen
Blue
at the time, yeah.
So I'd be there doing whatever, and then I would see that actually what was happening behind me. Monkeys climbing trees and sailing things, and it was so cool. I have to say, out of all the things that I've done in the comfy couch has been actually the coolest. Because, like Fred said, you get to release all those little inner yous. I'm sure a few of you out there might, appreciate the inner you that you don't really show off a lot. We got paid to do that, so hey, we were very lucky. But it also encourages, I hope, just to free to be you. You are the most unique, most fabulous creature in this room. Own it. Wear it, know your lane, and feel free to share. Because, cool is shareable.
I swear we never have gotten a postcard from Auntie McAllister saying, remember, cool is shareable and wearable.
You're right, that's such a line for her.
See, I turned out okay because I had really great folks around me to influence me. But I was 18 when I started.
You were the bad influence.
I was. No, seriously, I was 18.
And weren't we lucky? It was before cell phones and a lot of
cameras. Wait, that's, yeah. No, I was able to go out. I don't know where I got the energy from, but I was out every night dancing. I loved to go dancing. And I say that for the... that was Lawrence yesterday. I say for the first 2 seasons of Couch, the first 2 seasons of Comfy Couch, you can tell if it was a morning shoot or an afternoon shoot, whether it was a morning episode or an afternoon, because is Lunette's face all squidgy and kind of like red? It was a morning shoot. Yeah. And then, oh look, she's like sprightly and her eyes are nice and wide and open. It's like, oh, that must have been an afternoon shoot. But yeah, it was the way to get into character. I do have a ritual, even to this day, where everything else gets on, but the nose must go on last. Oh. And it was a thing that Cheryl Wagner had always instilled in me, where it's like the nose, that's the clown, that's the moment. I mean, there were times when you won't necessarily have the nose on you and you make do, but if you can really try to remember what the nose represents,
The nose knows?
the nose knows. And it would be the last thing that would go on, and once that was on, the hair would have been done, the freckles would have been done, everything else was in place, and then that would be the moment that I would switch from Allison to Lynette.
That's fabulous. Wow. Sounds like a ritual for you. That was a ritual. Okay, so I'd love to know kind of how you guys filmed the season. Was it episode by episode? Did you film in blocks? I would love to kind of hear your insight on that. Like, how did it go? And who's about writing?
Well, yeah, the show was scripted. Believe it or not, it wasn't just improv. And we did block shoot the show quite a bit, but it was very close to episode by episode. Allison would do her, it was the bulk of the show, it was her on the couch. And of course there was improv involved, I mean, because Allison would, we'd find funny things to do, or, oh, hey, try this. And then we would shoot Granny's Garden, and we'd do all of those. And of course, like, you know, with Tabby, she would shoot hers in front of the green screen, or the blue screen at the time. And we also did the Dust Bunnies. You guys remember the Dust Bunnies? Yeah, so we yeah. Spoiler. But we would block shoot all of those. Because it was a small studio, and of course it's the bottom of the couch, and the two puppeteers, Rob Mills and Bob Studd, they would go, and people would show up just to watch those, because it was so funny. The stuff that made it to air, of course it was scripted or not scripted, it was great, but man, the stuff that didn't make it to air. Three little dust bunnies, it's amazing what you could do. And yeah, it was fantastic. We also had the Foley family, which was in the dollhouse, which they tested to see audiences in general, what they really liked about the show. And believe it or not, the number one thing with adults watching was the Dust Bunnies. And the lowest score was the Foley family, which I was in. I was Andy Foley in that. So there's three of us who were mimes, and we literally would get the scripts. And Rob, our director and producer, would look at the script and he'd look at me and say, well, what do you want to do? And I don't think we ever did what was in the script. We always came up with something else. And they're terrific. I can't remember Mama Foley's. It's Mary Ann.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Mary Ann. And Pa Foley was actually this absolutely gorgeous young mime. It's terrific, terrific performer named Jenny Lozon. So she was actually inside the big fat guy with the mustache. And she loved it because this was a whole different side of her personality that she could tap into. She was a great singer and blues artist.
And she was my mime teacher.
Yeah, well, yeah, she was Allison's mime teacher, that's right.
I was 8
At
years
Claude
old.
Watson, I
And
think.
she's singing with me September 5th at St. Lawrence Market.
Oh, you gotta catch that.
Oh, yeah.
So when is it again? Say the date again.
September 5th, cocktail hour, but you know, we're not drinking. 5 to 7, St. Lawrence Market. We'll be on the street singing, me and Janny.
Oh, wow. You can't
I
miss that.
know. The only time that we all, in my mind, that we all got together as a cast, when we did the singing things.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of us, it was very, I don't say isolated because it makes you feel like, so I didn't feel that way at all. I felt very loved and supported and everything, and could hardly wait till we got a chance to sing together. And those were the most funner things for me, because we got to all be together.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, you just reminded me of that. That's one of my favorite things to do in all the shows I've done, the puppet shows like Groundling Marsh or other shows. It has been the singing, going in the recording studio and singing. it gives me a chance, because I'm not as much of a professional singer as Tabby is. So it was really great. And I should mention also that Grindel Kucherka, who plays Granny Garbanzo, was also a singer, and she had a really, really nice voice. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to go in and do that kind of stuff. Made me feel like a rock star. I love it.
I think Radical Chic just hired people that they thought might be interesting, you know, and then said, go, and here's your costume. I, for years, fancied myself that I looked like I was a banana. And then I actually saw, and I went, oh no, I'm a gourd.
The banana back there, huh? It's a cousin.
Oh,
Banana or
banana pajamas.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have a question for Allison. And it's about our favorite little doll, Molly. What was it like acting with a puppet for a lot of the time? And do you have any stories about acting with Molly?
Okay, first of all, I would like to point out that anytime I would go off to do the clock stretch and I would come back, there would be a mess on the couch. Molly had been busy pulling stuff out of the couch, throwing it around, putting it on the floor, and yet every single episode, except for one, who had to clean up that mess? Me. It's only fair.
You have a smile on your face, though. We all were like, we gotta clean
It's
it
called
up.
acting. I am an actor.
But who really made this big mess?
Oh.
It's only fair.
Again, drama, guys.
Yes. No, I mean, there are so many people we could blame on that. But Bob
Mostly
Studd.
the stagehands.
Yeah, so, well, Couch Boy. Couch Boy. Tim the Couch Boy. Because he used to have to lay inside the couch and either hand the props up to me through the couch or take them as I was stuffing them in during the 10-second tidy.
And Tim was 6'4".
But he was lanky. He was lanky. He was also a really fun stand-up comic, too. But Bob Stutt also, I mean, fortunately during those times, Bob would not be in the couch for the 10-second tidy. But Bob would be lying in the couch, and Bob was Molly's puppeteer. Bob is fantastic. He actually has a book out right now called Puppet. Highly, highly recommend if you get a chance to pick it up. Bob's a brilliant puppeteer, and it would actually get to the point, it would be Molly and me on the couch. I would be interacting with her, and like Bob would be interacting with me when the cameras weren't rolling as they were getting things set up or whatever. We would just be doing stuff back and forth, and I'd be fixing her dress, and I'd be like, oh, let me get this thing, and then she'd start to move, and like, it was real, and to the point where we would go for lunch, and they'd drop the lights on the set, and Rob would be like, that's lunch, back in an hour. And a few minutes later, you hear this little voice from inside the couch go, guys, are we on lunch? Can someone, and then, you know, Rob would stand up in the lunchroom and be like, can someone go get Bob out of the couch? Almost every day.
So Bob would puppeteer into the couch, and he would have a little television monitor under there so he could see what the camera saw. And that's why he knew where Allison was, and he knew what props and what things to do around. So, as you mentioned, Bob is a very accomplished puppeteer, and he was on the original Fraggle Rock, and he was also Iggy Iguana in Under the Umbrella Tree. You guys know that show? Yeah, so yeah, he's fantastic.
He's hilarious.
Oh yeah, and Sesame Park, which was a short-lived CBC thing that I was on too. But he was the big polar bear.
Amazing. Okay, you brought up the couch, and the couch is in your booth. How did you get the couch?
So this one, in the later years, starting in 2002, which is this one, a company called Kidamo actually got the rights to do the live show at Ontario Place. But because they would do Ontario Place and then they would go around and do mall shows as well, they built a couch that actually comes apart and goes together very easily. And I mean, I think we were all sort of like, why didn't we do this from the beginning? So we have, over the years, we've gone through a few different couches, starting in the 90s. I mean, the one from the very first season, it left this earth many years ago.
I think it's in Cheryl's cottage. I think that's her daybed.
I think that I don't
Full of
think it
mice.
survived that journey.
I think the dust bunny's on.
So I have one of the couches, and it seems to be the only one that has survived. There may still be one in a church basement in upstate New York somewhere.
Why
A scavenger hunt.
There are rumors. I think it's owned by Elvis Presley. It's just a rumor.
Allison, can you still do the clock stretch?
Okay.
And talk to us about the clock stretch because it's iconic.
So here's the deal.
Oh no.
No, I'm not gonna go there,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Well, yet. Maybe. We'll see. See how well you play. No. So I'm now 51,
A child.
but my brain and my soul are like,
12.
18.
no. Well, yeah, my mental capacity, I'm like 5. Okay? That never changed. But in the past year, I started to get I would get hamstring pulls or whatever, and I didn't really pay attention to them.
Why would we?
So, cut to March. Oh, and what I would tell people is, after a while, I was like, yeah, I can do the clock stretch once, and then it takes me 2 weeks to recover. But no, I can still do it. And then in March, I was at a con just outside of Pittsburgh, and we had an after party, and they were playing music from my generation. It was great, like Salt and Pepper, and it was good. We were dancing, and then Def Leppard song came on, and just pour some sugar on me, and had to go there. So I just dropped and did the splits, and it was fine. But then I did it again. And on the second one, I felt this whole side just go. And I got up, and I looked at, no, I'd had some beer, so it was okay. Ish, at that moment. And I said to my husband, I'm like, so I either did something really good because it had been tight for a while, and I was like, maybe it released something? So I either did something really good, or something really bad. And it took a few days. It actually took a few days, and it hit one night. And it was like, oh, it was bad, really bad. So eventually I got an MRI back in June, I got the results. And it was, I have a
Imagine the doctor.
torn hamstring. She's like, what were you doing? So torn hamstring, torn glute, a tear in my hip labrum. It's all on the right side. But after it happened, I really stopped. I just stopped doing anything on this side, and I was taking a collagen supplement, protein collagen supplement, and it's been helping. And it's been helping a lot, to the point where last week, for a thing that I can't say what it was, but I may have somewhere in the city, in a studio of an unmarked location, done said iconic choreography for something that will be coming out, I guess, on your socials at some point very soon.
This is suspense.
No.
Oh, that's the other. Oh man, you guys are gonna love this.
Yeah, it's not.
I had
it
to
wasn't
sign an
this.
NDA, I
Although
can't tell you.
this is really cute, and I don't know if you guys have seen the Retro Kid booth that's here. But there's a new drop
We
coming
did.
for couch stuff. So, but this was not for Retro Kid. This was for the other, and I did it.
Okay, so we're gonna switch to the audience very soon. I just want to ask one more question. How does it feel? This is for everybody. How does it feel knowing how much of an impact the big comfy couch has had on, you know, families and children, like internationally as well. I just want to know, like, how do you guys realize how much of an impact you have made?
I'm going to answer that just because I get really emotional. Stop it.
No.
It was a very little show, done by friends. But listen to yourself. We didn't know the impact of the show because we were doing it, and it was fun, and we got paid. We did the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade one year, and we had I don't know, I guess there was like almost 2 million people along the route, and they were screaming at us. We had no idea what the show was. So that was the first time that I can remember going, wow, this is really big. This is really something. I'm in Times Square getting a promotional picture done at midnight, because it was the only time when there weren't that many people around. And they were taking pictures of me. I'm dressed as Bedhead. And a cabbie comes screeching by, screeches to a halt, right up on the curb, leans out the window and goes, "Hey, yo, Bedhead!" It was amazing. It was really cool. So, actually, one of the pictures we have at the booth is from that parade. It's one of my favorite pictures. It's Allison and I. Big smiles on our face. Anyway, I'm going to just end it there because, yeah, the impact. When people come up to us at the booth, it's the stories that we hear sometimes, wow, they really knock you off your feet, right back onto the couch. But that's it. That's enough for me.
Well, me and the blue screen, I have to say I'm very humbled. I have been in the business since I was 10. I'm 72. And the fact that something you the fact is, 72 is the new 45. The fact that something, as Fred and Allison keep saying, that we were doing, yeah, it was a job, but it was so much fun. Like when you're the original it people, you don't really think of it. You're just it. And you only find out that you were the it people after the fact. At the time, you're just like, this is fun. Get to hang out with some people, get paid, wear some wacky clothes, sing some great songs, and go home. Now remember, I had a toddler. So to be able to bring my little boy, who's 4 now, to the set, and he was so welcomed and so cherished, and they all have Joey stories. I almost brought him here, but that would be too much. He's 30. I found it, I also took the responsibility of being a children's performer kind of seriously, maybe a bit too seriously. Like I didn't swear, if I was out on the street, I didn't smoke, I didn't do anything like that. Because I think I just sound like me, but apparently I sound like me. And so it would be disarming to be somewhere just being me. And then have somebody go, "Angie McCasser!" And I'm like, what? Oh, let me put the cigarette out. Yeah, so I'm delighted. I really am. I'm humble. I am in awe. Y'all weren't even born. You know? So it's
Thanks
just
for
like
that.
amazing to me that work that was created with such love and joy continues to bring love and joy. Y'all are awesome. Just awesome. Yay.
So, my husband, who did not watch the show when it was on, recently has tried to watch it to help put together promo packages and all that stuff. Yeah, he's tried to, but he can't because whenever Lunette is getting irritated with Molly, he's like, "Oh, that's my wife's voice." So, yeah. I was lucky because in the 90s, once we got picked up in the US, they started having me go down there and do all the different store appearances. So I got to know more of the impact early on, and I got to have those one-on-ones with people, and it was incredible. And I am so grateful to, I think, the responsibility that I realized, like what you were just saying, at that early age. Because like I said, when I started doing the show, I was 18, and I could easily have gone off and, you know, been like, woo, party life, and like go really into the deep end. And yeah, you know, there are a lot of people where just like, you're almost pressured to be the wild child in a way. Yeah, but I think it was after the first time I was a wish for a dying child. It was for Make-A-Wish. And I knew it was coming up, and I was actually going to meet her. Her name was Jackie. And I was meeting her backstage at this store where I was doing a store signing. And I was out like the 2 nights before in Toronto at a club with my then boyfriend, and I just had, like, I broke down at the club, and I was like, oh, you got me started, and now I'm gonna get emotional. I was like, how can I possibly be a wish? Like, I'm like, she needs to choose something better. I'm just me, like, I'm gonna let her down. Like, how can I be the one thing that a dying child wants to see? So I got to meet her and spend time with her, and it's what she wanted. And I've been a wish for probably about 10, I'd say, and then worked with a charity called Dreams Take Flight for many, many years. And I actually met a young woman here today who came to my booth. She was a child for Dreams Take Flight, and her son Michael is here, and now he's been watching the show, and he's little, and so we got a photo on the couch. But it's just those moments of realizing that this means so much more. It's so much bigger than me. It's not about me. It's something that I always took very seriously, and I'm incredibly grateful for, and I don't take for granted.
Exactly. We
No.
were blessed.
Yeah, dreams take flight.
Whoa!
I might not be correct in this, but I do think Dreams Take Flight, that Allison would be on an airplane flying all the way to Florida. You guys get to meet us at the booth in maybe about 5-10 minutes. She would be Lunette for the entire flight to all those kids. Is that right?
So we would do a pizza party the night before because a lot of the kids had to come in from out of town. And everything was fundraised, and basically the whole thing was if there was something in your childhood preventing you from going to Disney World, we would take you. And it's a one day whirlwind trip. So there's the pizza party the night before. I was Lunette. And then the next morning at 5 a.m., the kids show up to the hangar. So it would be in the Air Canada hangar. And for all the nonsense now with people who are running Air Canada, let me tell you back then. And it was the flight attendants too, but they were wonderful. Like the flight attendants, big, yeah, all volunteering their time. And we had hundreds of kids. It got to the point where we had to take 2 planes down. So I would, Lunette at 5 o'clock in the morning with all these kids showing up, and then on the plane ride down, and then we get changed, and then we'd escort the groups around because there would be a lot of kids in wheelchairs and stuff, so they needed extra hands. And then after they saw the fireworks, we'd go back to the airplane, get back into costume, and then be Lunette on the plane ride home. We'd usually get in between 1:30 and 2 a.m. Just because of, yeah, well, it wasn't the time change, it was once you wrangling that many kids and making sure everyone's accounted for and medical issues are taken care of and whatnot. But we would get a special exemption for landing late. And then you wait until all the kids get picked up and go home. It's an amazing charity. It's a long day, but it's totally worth it. Pinball Clemens did it. Doug.
Giving back, yeah?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's acknowledging how fabulous you guys are.
Totally worth
Where
it.
would we be without you?
I could afford my cabin.
Could you afford the cabin without them?
Oh, that's true.
Okay, so we have about, I think 10 or 15 minutes left. I think I'm gonna get I can't see. Anyway, okay. But if you guys want to line up, if you have any questions over in the middle, and then I'll come meet you guys down there. And we can
put their hands up and just.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I
You don't have
just
to
wanted
worry.
to take a photo of you three with everybody.
Yeah, let's do that at the very end.
Great. Okay,
Do
perfect.
that, and we'll
Okay.
have everybody turn around and we'll do the selfie.
Allison is
She knows
a director. Just so you know.
Allison is a voice director, actually, you
Yeah,
guys.
and
She
she also-
directed me in My Little Pony, so she's, yeah.
And she also
Ball and
directed
still
a lot of
bossy.
episodes of Blue's Clues.
She's done Blues.
So we always refer to her because she knows what
She
she's
knows
doing.
what's up.
And I got asked this by Adam earlier, and I just wanted to say for anybody who is looking at getting into the acting industry or voice acting or whatever it might be, if the first time you go for an audition and you don't succeed, welcome to the family. That's how it goes, and most of your life as an actor is being rejected. So don't take it personally, there will be other jobs.
90% of your life is being rejected.
Think of yourself as a commodity.
Allison.
Kind of like a jug of milk.
Okay, questions, and Anna.
I will run to you.
Okay. Mainly because look at this beautiful dress. She looks so cute.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, now I
It was actually me.
Yeah.
I actually have a couple of questions, believe it or not. The first one will be mostly for you, Allison, but the second one is definitely for you, Allison, too.
One question per person. So choose one.
Well, if there was one important or thing that really stand out to you from working on the big company couch, what would it be? And did you actually ended up using it when you started working on other media such as Claire Redfield?
Great question.
Yeah. It's so. Let me tell you, doing like 3 store appearances a week, sitting there in costume, smiling like this for 6 hours at a time a day, getting to come back and going into the recording studio and screaming for Claire Redfield was amazing.
Who else has a question?
Thank you.
Okay, despite the struggle. Hi again, Brianna here. Hi from this world. This question is going to be for Allison, and that is, you have done so many works despite the big comfy couch. You've also done some directing. Like, with the differences and everything, do you have a favorite and why?
So, and I think Tabby will probably relate to this in a way, and I don't know which one it would be for you. Okay, so Beetlejuice was the most fun. No offense, guys. But being in the booth, just like not caring what you look like and laughing your butt off with Stephen We Met all day long, like, Beetlejuice was super fun. Comfy couch, this long-lasting impact, like, I mean, my goodness. X-Men, the impact that has had, and coming back 30 years later, and what we've been able to do. But Claire Redfield, because that's how I would meet somebody, get married, and have my son.
That has been enough.
Yeah.
Suzuki.
It's all about the baby making.
No, that part wasn't. It's the kid that came after that.
Well, no, that's what I mean. Like, you know, you have to feed it and everything.
Hi there, my name's Miguel, and this question is for Allison. I remember you did your project roles in this hour's 22 minutes. How did you enjoy doing that?
It was great, again, because my kid was a huge fan of 22 Minutes. So when Mark Critch reached out to me, he was like, hey, would you do this? I wrote this bit, and I was like, I would love to. Finally made my son will think I'm cool. But we told the CBC, we were like, I don't own the rights, you have to get permission from Radical Sheep. Michelle Melanson, who was just on like her last days at Radical Sheep, she looked at it, she was like, this is great, yeah, do it. It was amazing, I had so much fun. That whole, everybody dies! At the end, I get people coming up to the booth with a printout of a photo of me with the chainsaw. I've signed so many of those images. Love it. Love it, love it. Are there any questions for other people? Because I'm gonna, okay.
Hi. I'll try to keep the first part brief. Thank you. You're all a huge inspiration to me. I just finished my undergraduate degree in music, and I remember singing I wanted to ask, you mentioned earlier that a big part of being a performer is getting rejected a lot. Which I can also attest to from personal experience. So my question is, how do you find the energy to keep going and pick yourself up?
I just look at my checkbook.
Yes, whatever you can find that'll motivate you, and everyone's different. Everyone has different motivations. But I'm also checkbook, yeah.
And also, being an ethnic minority at the time, I did lots of other things. I couldn't just do voice work because there was only one job. So I did nightclubs, I did theater, I worked on a cruise ship, I put wreaths around horses at the racetrack. You just keep on going, and then eventually, you get the big comfy couch.
It's also, if you are studying to become a singer or an actor, I have in the past taught master classes in acting, and poor kids. But what some advice I would give to them as they're setting off into the world is make yourself useful, especially in film and television. If you can find something, if you're an actor, take singing lessons, because musical theater is an option. Don't say, oh, I can't sing. Of course you can sing. You might not be the best singer, but at least you can sing, and you should work at it. And I used to teach them how to juggle. I can teach all of you, unless you do have a physical handicap, which makes it not easy for you to juggle. I can teach anyone here to juggle in about 10 minutes. You won't juggle well. You'll understand it. And it's something that just happens. You say, hey, I can juggle, or hey, I can do this too. And they work it into the show. It's kind of like a big comfy couch. The fact that I could do all that stuff was why I got the show. So, and that's a lot of things. Don't limit yourself to, I want to be a purist. It's like stand-up comedy. They don't like prop comics like me. And I was like, hey, our job is to make people laugh. Whatever it takes, in a song, in a juggling, and doing anything, prop comedy, not carrot top, but yeah. Anyway, but that's it. So that's one of the ways just to keep going and keep yourself busy, keep learning. I think that's probably the lesson, right? Keep learning.
Yeah, exactly.
Always be learning. Yeah, never stop
Always
learning.
be learning. Sure, why not? That sounds good.
But you want to be pushing yourself too. At least for me, that's why, like with the directing, I like. So there are things people are like, don't work with children or animals or whatever, and I actually like shows that will take you to the next step and have these problems to solve. And as a director, it's on me to somehow get the performance that these clients want from this talent that they have hired. And it's my job to figure that out, the problem solving. And I like taking on those challenges, not the stuff that I could just phone in, because it lets me learn and grow. And it's gonna make me better as a performer too.
Amazing. I think we have time for 2 questions.
We have no time.
To say. One question.
What do you have to say, my daughter, with the blue, the turquoise? Oh, it's your sunglasses that are reflecting.
Yeah, last question.
Where's Molly? Like, I know that with shows like this, sometimes they have like multiple dolls because maybe the first one something happens to it, but
We don't get paid to do this panel, so she wouldn't show up.
the honors to be with Mr. Bester.
What a way to end this panel.